Hey guys, it's me, Freddy Pop Collector. I'm sorry I missed a video yesterday. I was really busy with online school. But, today, we're going to be making another top 10 video. I know, how original. As we all know, Funko makes FNAF plushes. They've made about half the characters, I'd say, but they have missed out on a few important characters. So in today's video, I thought I'd count down the top 10 characters that really need a FNAF plush. Now, their placement might not depend on the character themselves, but it might depend on gaps in the wave, so just keep stuff like that in mind. So without further ado, let's get into the top 10. Right before we do, though, I do want to mention two honorable mentions, or I guess technically three: Shamrock, Fredbear, and Chocolate Bonnie. I didn't want to put them on the list because it's pretty likely that those are going to happen, and also I'm not going to put any of the Withered or FNAF VR animatronics. That's just mainly because all these characters are new, and Funko is probably going to do them pretty soon. We know the Withered and VR characters are coming, and AR characters will probably be thrown in there as well, so I'm not going to put those on the list. So with that out of the way, let's move on to the top 10. Coming in at number 10 is Ned Bear. It's really quite strange how Funko always gives Ned Bear the shafts. In the mystery minis, he was a Target exclusive. In the pop line, they just completely skipped him. And same thing with the plushies. They just completely skipped over Ned Bear. In my opinion, he's not my least favorite mediocre. That's Happy Frog, but he's probably the most forgettable. You can tell he's the Freddy ripoff, but I do think he deserves some love. The only reason why he even made it on the list was because he is the only one missing. And that's honestly kind of annoying that they would make all four and not that last one. It would be like Funko be making every single Phantom animatronic except one, or every Nightmare. That would just be strange to just skip one animatronic, or like make every single Rockstar. You know what I mean? But yeah, Ned Bear comes in at number 10, not because he would make a good plush per se, but just because I feel like Funko needs to finish him for the sake of completion. So Ned Bear comes in at number 10. Let's move on to number 9. Coming in at number 9 is a tie between Rockstar Bonnie and Rockstar Chica. As we all know, Funko has made pops of Rockstar Freddy and Foxy, action figures of Rockstar Freddy and Foxy, and plushies of Rockstar Freddy and Foxy. The only representation of the other Rockstars we have is in mystery mini form, and it's really strange that they would just completely skip over them in the wave. Like, why do Pig Patch, Orville, and Mr. Hippo, like those characters, and just completely skip over the Rockstars? I feel like that those would sell better just because they're original forecast, and I just really feel like Funko shouldn't have just skipped over them, similar to Ned Bear. I really hope that they do go back and fill them in, because there is enough Pizza Sim characters for them to make a second wave. It's very unlikely, but I'm really sad that these two characters were skipped. Rockstar Bonnie is, while not my favorite, I really think that he should have been made into a plush. Same with Rockstar Chica. So they come in at number 9, no real reason. Same reason with Ned Bear, just for completion. So yeah, they come in at number 9. Let's move on to number 8. Coming in at number 8 is Nightmare. The reason why I put him here is because, I mean, he's irrelevant to the series now. He's appeared in Ultimate Custom Night, he appeared in VR, so he is 100% canon in the series now. In the original Halloween DLC, Scott said he wasn't canon, but now he is canon. Who honestly knows anymore? Who really cares? Funko's gonna make him anyway. But I do feel like Nightmare doesn't have as much of a chance as some of these other characters I'm going to bring up, and that's just simply because I don't think there's really that much of a fan interest for Nightmare. They made him the Build-A-Figure character, but that's back when the DLC first launched. At the end of the day, I just gotta be completely honest, I don't think Funko's gonna do him. There's just something telling me in my gut that he's not gonna be made into a plush. I think any of these other plushies I'm gonna bring up later, which I'm not saying he's impossible, he's definitely really likely. Anyone past this point, besides maybe this next one, is probably gonna be made at some point. So Nightmare could probably be changed around with number 7. I'll just go ahead and get to that. Nightmare comes in at number 8. Let's move on to number 7. Okay, I feel like I'm going to get a lot of crap for putting Yando this far up, but yeah, coming in at number 7 is Yando. Now, before you rage in the comments saying how is Yando higher than Nightmare, this is another one where they didn't complete the wave. As you all know, they made Bonnet, they made Ennard, they made all the other Sister Location characters except Yando. Of course, you could say that they didn't make Biddy Bab and Minarina, but I don't really count those. They made Lolbit, for crying out loud. She doesn't even have a body. When the game came out, Lolbit didn't have a body. When they made the plush, Lolbit didn't have a body. Lolbit didn't have a body till FNAF VR. So they completely made the body up at that point. I can't believe they made Lolbit before Yando. I've always preferred Yando to Lolbit, and I really hope they make Yando. The only reason why I really want him is for completion again. I really want Yando. So Yando comes in at number 7. Let's move on to number 6. Coming in at number 6 is Nightmare BB. This was the only initial canon character from the Halloween DLC for FNAF 4. He was then put in Ultimate Custom Night, and then FNAF VR. So he's a staple of the series now. I think he has a very interesting design. I put him over Plush Trap because I do feel like he has a better chance of getting a plush made of him than Plush Trap. At the end of the day, it just simply comes down to the fact that they've already made Balloon Boy. I think they could tweak the design a little bit, make it more Nightmare Balloon Boy-esque, and Nightmare Balloon Boy seems to be a lot more popular, but that's just my opinion. I do feel like if they did like a Curse of Fredbear wave or a FNAF VR wave, I do think Nightmare Balloon Boy would be included there, and Plush Trap wasn't even in Curse of Fredbear, so yeah. Nightmare Balloon Boy comes in at number 6, just because I feel like he's more of a fan favorite than any of the other characters I've mentioned so far. So let's move on to number 5. So now we're getting into the pretty hard ones. I think this is when people will really start disagreeing with me, but coming in at number 5 is Nightmare Fredbear. Now, the only piece of merch that Nightmare Fredbear has so far is a mystery mini and a little dangler thing, and that's it. He has no action figure, he has no pop, he has nothing. And I do think he deserves a plush. He was in FNAF VR, he had his own level, similar to Nightmare, but the reason why I put him on higher isn't really for any, probability-based reasons. It's literally just because I do think that us fans would appreciate a Nightmare Fredbear more than a Nightmare, because us fans have been wanting a Nightmare Fredbear, and I guess we could include Nightmare here too. We've been wanting these plushes for a long time. All of us have made customs of them. Funko needs to get on it, they need to make them. I do think that if they let the fans choose more plushies, I really think they should. I do think that Nightmare Fredbear and Nightmare would get a more positive fan reaction than Nightmare. So that's why they come in at number 5. Tell me in the comments if you guys agree with this. Coming in at number 5 is Nightmare Fredbear. Let's move on to number 4. So coming in at number 4 is Molten Freddy from FNAF 6. They've already done entered, and I do feel like Molten Freddy would be a very appropriate addition. I'm just going to go ahead and say this now so no one brings it up in the comments. I'm not putting Scrap Trap on this list. Funko is actively avoiding to do Scrap Trap merch. They haven't done any mystery minis, any action figures, any pops, and no plushies either. They're actively avoiding Spring Trap or Scrap Trap or whatever, and they're probably not going to do them, so I'm not even going to bother putting him on the list. But Molten Freddy, however, they have made a mystery mini of him, and if they made a mystery mini, I think there's a pretty good chance that they could make a plushie of him. Us fans really want him, and a lot of us have made customs, and I think Funko knows that, and I think if Funko let us choose some more, I think Molten Freddy would be a very demanded choice. So Molten Freddy comes in at number 4. Let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3 is Scrap Baby. I was actually pretty surprised that this one wasn't made into the plush. Every single action figure in the action figure line, and mystery mini line, and pop line got made into a plush, but for some reason Scrap Baby was left out. I know there wasn't a Scrap Baby pop, but my point still stands. I'm like 99% sure that Scrap Baby will be made into a plush at some point. I don't think it would be that hard. If they can make a mystery mini and an action figure, they can definitely make a Scrap Baby plush. So, Scrap Baby comes in at number 3, one of the most fan-requested characters, I'm pretty sure. Let's move on to number 2. Coming in at number 2 is Shadow Bonnie. I think this one's a no-brainer. If we're gonna get a Withered wave, I'm pretty sure Shadow Bonnie would be a very smart choice to include in that wave. We have every single toy, we have Shadow Freddy, we have apparently all the Withereds, and Balloon Boy and Mangle Puppet, basically every single character from FNAF 2 except the Endoskeleton, JJ, and Shadow Bonnie. And I think out of these 3 characters, Shadow Bonnie's the most likely. They've made a lot of merch of Shadow Bonnie. They've made a Shadow Bonnie pop, and they made 2 Shadow Bonnie mystery minis. They made one for Wave 1, and then they remade him for Wave 3 because the first Wave 1 was so bad that they had to redo it. Again, this is another one that I think really deserves a plush. He's been one of the most reoccurring characters in the merch, and I do think that he deserves a plush. I do think if they do a Withered, he'll be an exclusive or something, maybe Target or GameStop. But yeah, Shadow Bonnie comes in at number 2. Let's move on to number 1. You might have saw this one coming, but coming in at number 1 is Nightmare Chica. Nightmare Chica is probably the most requested plush of all time. Not because Nightmare Chica is the most popular character of all time, definitely not. It's because we already have a Nightmare Freddy, a Nightmare Bonnie, a Nightmare Foxy, and a Nightmare Flippin' Cupcake. If they can do the Cupcake, they can do Nightmare Chica. That's just maddening. If they can make all of these characters, but not a Nightmare Chica, that's just ridiculous. I mean, come on, if they can do Twisted Chica, a character that didn't even appear in the books, I'm pretty sure they could pull off a Nightmare Chica. So Nightmare Chica comes in at number 1. Tell me in the comments if you guys agree with my picks, if you would have switched them all around. This is just what I think, in my opinion, and I can't wait to look back on this video and see if any of my opinions were right. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.